We have to move on to the Young Bucks at FTR interview segment with Excrement providing his local cable access level analysis and interview skills. Matt Massey, the AKA Buck Hogan, did he take the Stanislavski method acting class in his high school drama? He's running his hands through his hair, and he's making faces, and he's wringing his hands and clutching his pearls and some fucking guy, well, no, I was about to say some guy working at a gas station in Des Moines is going, who is this little fucking dweeb? But nobody working at a gas station in Des Moines is watching this program because it's full of small children anguishing over their fucking hurt feelings over their broken video games and their interrupted masturbatory sessions at home in the basement. So they basically have made FTR the adults with his constant whining about, oh, we had lost something. Yeah, the fucking genetic lottery to be taken as badasses. That's what you lost, you fucking little middle school nerds. Anyway, so FTR walks off, and Excrement he had something at one point. Oh, yeah, later on, and he was questioning Olivier's cardio conditioning. He said, well, Olivier has primarily been a tag team wrestler. So is his cardio as good as Penta El Zorro? Yeah, because Penta El Zorro is a member of the fucking Lucha Brothers. He's a tag team guy too, you fucking idiot. Your whole goddamn point made no sense. Anyway, see, that's why I didn't watch this whole thing.
This segment was so bad. I've been saying it for a while, but even some of the AEW fans are starting to pick up on it. The Young Bucks are horrible promos. Matt Jackson specifically, because Nick just sits back and waits for a line to throw in. Matt Jackson, he's a bad promo. He's a bad actor. There's nothing believable about them. None of this makes any sense. Why all of a sudden they started acting like heels? Why all of a sudden the stipulation is if we don't win the match, we'll never get a title shot ever again?
Oh, yeah. Now so are they going to do what Cody did? And then they're going to make a title that they can wear that it's not the title that they can't challenge for anymore? Or are they actually going to beat FTR in the first match and kill the whole thing deader than fucking 4 o'clock? Which avenue are they going to take there?
I would bet on the latter if I was going to my bookie and doing some AEW gambling.
Well, but
who knows?
But Buck Hogan has a injured body part.
His brain.
So the fucking, yeah, well, besides that, no, injured, not fucking warped. So they've managed to become heels over the last several weeks, whiny, bitchy heels that attack the announcers and fucking complain and whine about everything so that they can fight the heel team that has the belts with the heel manager that come off as the baby faces. And now one guy's hurt. If they beat FTR and the guy's got a hurt leg, then can we just say the executive vice presidents are going to get their way regardless of what's good for business and move on?
Have you seen the cover of their upcoming book?
Thankfully, no.
I don't know who designed it or why they designed it this way, but it just looks like they're staring at each other's dicks. They're both just like shirtless looking down at each other's dicks. I saw it the other day because John Arezzi, they put on pre-sale his upcoming book, which comes out in like April of 2021, and it beat them. It was the #1 best-selling wrestler biography, even though it's pre-sale. I think the chart goes up and down, but he had beat them the other day. He also beat Abraham Lincoln. And I saw the Bucks book. I was like, it looks...
Yeah, but who'd Abraham Lincoln ever beat?
It looks like some weird romance novel. What is this? Who designed this book? Who signed off on this and thought it was a good idea?
Harlequin.
And then I remembered it was the Bucks, actually.
It's a Harlequin romance. They have to be in love with somebody, so they're in love with each other. No, here, the next thing, well, I don't know, because I just jotted some things down from memory, so I don't even know if this was in order. But the best thing on the show, a wrestling match suddenly broke out. Serena Deeb and Layla, her opponent, what was her name? Layla Hirsch?
Hirsch.
Every man on the roster should be ashamed. Serena Deeb is the best all-around worker in AEW, which is not surprising. She was trained by Rip Rogers. But every time she gets it, you could tell from the time she locks up, the level of professionalism, her basics are there. She was a trainer for quite some time. The basics are there. The match makes sense. She's serious about it, works hard. This other girl hadn't seen Herb. They said she had an amateur background. I believed it. It was, every man on this roster should be ashamed of themselves. They actually ought to have Serena teaching their training class, which every single member of the roster should be enrolled in. I thought it was it was the only real wrestling match on the program.
I thought it was really good. I was impressed by Layla Hirsch. And Serena Deeb has had like a career revival, and I think a lot of people are noticing her. They gave her the NWA title. Yeah. Obviously, they taped this in advance, so I guess she came out with the belt here before her winning the title aired. But she beat Thunder Rosa.
Well, and the thing is, when you look at it, Serena's always been that good. And it's just that now they have had, as we've talked about, the worst women's division with the worst workers in it of any Major League Wrestling company ever in history. It stunk. So all of a sudden, somebody comes in that's really good and looks fantastic after what's come before. So immediately, yeah, we're going to sign her. They should have signed her to begin with. They should have her training all the women. Anyway, hopefully she will still be getting pushed like this when Riho is able to travel again. That's the problem. Is they shot themselves in the foot with their women's division because they let a fucking idiot determine who was going to be the roster of the women's division and book it, who had absolutely no idea how to even fucking take care of himself, much less other people, and shot the whole thing to shit for a year without getting any qualified fucking talent in that division.
Serena Deeb has looked awesome since she came in. They had her do a job to Big Swole, who may be the single worst women's wrestler in the entire business.
In the entire world. And that's because when they'd first brought her in, they were just doing a favor with the, for the NWA crossover and didn't have any thought to when she had that great match. Oh, well, we've also got her booked for this. That's because there's no thought. They just do this shit based on somebody having an idea. I never, ever, in any of the promotions I was involved in, exposed someone on television as anything other than the role that they were going to be involved in. In other words, it's not like I said, oh, well, let's put this guy on TV, and if he does good, I'll push him. Well, then you've just beat the guy you might push. Put him in a dark match. Don't tape it to see how the people react to him. Never put someone on television unless you know exactly what you're going to do with them going forward.